Hey everyone, as you can see, it's summer term. I'm out and about getting a little work done. Um, I wanted to apologize for being so late on providing feedback to you for Unit 1. As I mentioned elsewhere, I am working on the final deadlines to complete the final edits for the e-text that you are reading in the Google site. We're making the last push so that it will be available in its final interactive form with videos and maps and images and everything. Um, Across multiple platforms, not just for the iPad, but for Android and for web browsers as well, starting in the fall. So, quite excited about that. It's kept me busier than I've hoped to be or meant to be these first couple weeks of the term. Um, so, I just wanted to let you know that's where things are going, and I apologize for that, although I'm glad that it's getting done. As you go along with the e-text, of course, please let me know um, what feedback you have for me on that. Some of the things have changed from that version that you're using and the version that I'm working off of now, but um, I would really appreciate any kind of feedback that you have as we're making this last push to get it finished. Excuse me. All of that said, I wanted to make just a couple of overall comments about your responses to the What is History and the Effective Discussion Questions forums in Unit 1. I have almost completed the Effective Discussion Questions forum, and I really wanted to commend you all for taking to heart the ideas presented in the critical thinking video, in my video, and well, that was for What is History, but some of you brought that into the critical thinking as well, um, and the section of the e-text that I referred you to. You did a good job overall of including specific cited references to either the readings or the videos to support and illustrate your ideas. If you have any questions about that, or in the feedback that you got, I said you need to do that, and you have questions about it, please ask. Any of my means of getting in communication with me, and I'm more than happy to help out with that. As we've been reading about, though, with the What is History section, and when we work on the discussion board, I want us to all be thinking like historians as much as we can. So that means that we need to use historical evidence from the materials that we're using for class to support the ideas that we have in responding to others' questions. So going forward, for each response post that you write, you need to include at least 2 specific cited references to either the readings or the videos to support your ideas, to illustrate them. So again, it's not just your opinion, it's not just what you think, but it is based in historical evidence. A lot of what we'll be really working with are secondary sources, although there are some links to primary sources within the e-text and within the learning modules as we move forward in New Mexico history. And so, again, keep in mind as well those distinctions between primary and secondary sources as we go along. I really appreciated your comments on what history is, on issues of subjectivity, and trying to locate bias. We all picked up on the notion that history is not just some set of facts or dates or names, even though maybe in the past you've been asked to memorize those things in a history class. Instead, it's how we interpret those things. It's how do we understand the sources that we come across, and how can we make sense of the past and fit our understanding into what else has been written about any given historical topic. That whole process will probably become a lot more apparent as we study the Pueblo Revolt, which is one of the most contested issues in New Mexico history in terms of how we should write about it, how we should interpret the sources that are available. So that's just something to think about as we move ahead. Also, I was hoping to get a little bit more done on the e-text today, but I'll probably just over the next couple of hours finish up the effective questions posts on the discussion board, and then I will go through and make sure that I give all of you credit for your work on Twitter. Remember that if I have not yet interacted with you on Twitter, meaning I haven't favorited one of your tweets or I haven't added you to the list called New Mexico History, and that's something that you'll get a notification about in Twitter when that happens. If that hasn't happened yet, that probably means that I have not yet seen you on Twitter. So if that's the case, send me a tweet to @CNMBrandon so that I'm able to give you credit for all of your work there. I really don't want anyone to do a bunch of work on Twitter and not get credit for it. So if you even have any questions about whether or not I've seen you there, send me a tweet and ask me about it. And then I will be providing feedback and giving you those scores over the next couple of hours. So just wanted to keep you updated with all of that. I hope you're having a good first week of Unit 2.